Good morning, champions, and welcome back to a seemingly meaningless but discreetly important On the Lake with Jake. My name is Jacob Westman, and last summer at this time I discussed an abundant but often overlooked fruit tree, the mulberry. But today I'm going to talk to you about a few myths and legends that surround the mulberry tree. In Chinese legend, the mulberry tree is a divine symbol, a link between heaven and earth. In Japan, the mulberry is also sacred. The bark is used in Shinto offerings, and the leaves are a revered food source for silkworms, used to make beautiful kimonos. In England, the famous wordsmith Bill Shakespeare planted a mulberry at his childhood home in Stratford-upon-Avon. Cuttings and clippings from this now deceased tree have spread throughout Great Britain, becoming a sort of symbol of the craft of writing. But today I'm going to tell you the story of Pyramus and Thisbe, two star-crossed lovers that should remind us of one of Shakespeare's more moderately successful plays. Roman poet Ovid crafted the following origin story, inspired by various Greek and Roman myths, and inspiring even more. According to Ovid's Metamorphoses, in the great city of Babylon, two young lovers, Pyramus and Thisbe, lived next door to each other. Unfortunately, their families totally hated each other. Class, religion, race, or favorite football team were likely the source of the conflict. Each night, through a crack in the wall, they would whisper their love to each other until eventually they couldn't take it anymore and decided to run away together. They arranged to meet outside of town under the branches of the White Mulberry tree. A prompt young lady, Thisbe arrived first, but was completely freaked out by a lioness lounging under the tree, her mouth still red and bloody from a recent kill. Thisbe ran away in fear, but in her haste, dropped her shawl. Pyramus arrived soon after. Approaching their rendezvous, he too saw the lioness, jaws bloodied, but also the shawl of his beloved Thisbe strewn beneath the mulberry tree. He instantly, and without any logical thought, assumed she had been killed by the lioness. In his instantaneous remorse, he drew his blade and fell on his sword, killing himself rather than living without his love. Not but a few moments after, Thisbe returned from her hiding spot, saw the lifeless body of her doomed love, and cried out to the heavens. "And oh, thou tree of many branching boughs, spreading dark shadows on the corpse of one destined to cover twain, take thou our fate upon thy head, mourn our untimely deaths, and let thy fruit darken for a memory, an emblem of our blood." Then she picked up his sword, put the blade to her breast, and fell upon it, splashing the white mulberries and staining them red forever. I love legends and myths. People have always used stories to explain our natural and emotional world. Myths and legends persist because they still apply. They still resonate with us today. So what does Ovid's story of Pyramus and Thisbe teach us? I'm not really sure. That can't be the real reason white mulberry tree fruit is reddish and purple in color. Maybe Ovid's telling us to watch more Law & Order SVU so you can learn how to invest a crime scene a bit more before rushing to judgment. Maybe he's warning us to meet a guy face to face a few times before agreeing to run away with him. He could be a total idiot. Or maybe the message is Shakespeare was a hack and just rehashed older storylines with slightly new characters, a la Hollywood, California. Who knows? Thanks again for listening to my stories. If you know any great myths, legends, or tall tales, let me know in the comments below. I will see you soon, and until then, be happy, stay healthy, and let's make some history. Cheers.
I can pick some too. I can pick some too.
Yeah, good job. You gotta get the ones on the ground. You get the good ones on the ground. Yeah?
Look, all the berries
Evelyn, this is where your great-grandparents and your great-great-grandparents are buried. Yep, and we can come pick. Yeah, juicy berries.
Grandparents go over here. Why? You're my grandparents.
Your grandparents, your great-grandparents are buried right here. Your great-grandparents and your great-great-grandparents. Roger and Dorothy, and Morris and Freda.